Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Gambit, where we're about to do a summary of everything that has just happened, which, given the state of my brain, is probably for the best. Quick story. I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on my Switch since it came out, and I had it running when I went to go start recording this today. I go in to save my game. I hit the screenshot button and exited out and closed it before realizing what I had done. So that's what we're working with today. Can only go up from here. Good idea. Let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage.
12 years ago, the real President Wang visited the orphanage. His aim to meet his infant son. The footprints were originally assumed to be those of Mr. Alldown. They seem likely to have actually been made by the president upon his arrival.
Okay.
But instead of being greeted by his child, he was met by the assassin, Bodhidharma Canis.
That's so sad. He was hoping to see his baby for the first time, only to...
Indeed, but at least with Mr. Canis, we can be sure that the job was swiftly and effectively completed. But then, after the assassination, another tragedy occurred.
Mr. Alldown's murder.
Yes, it seems he witnessed a key moment in the evening's proceedings. The moment when our culprits, the so-called kidnappers, took the president's body around the side of the building. That was the sight that sealed his fate. We've now established that he was standing by the orphanage gates at the time. Far enough away that he believed what he was seeing was the president's abduction. At which point...
Oh, the body double who had come to meet up with his co-conspirators walked right up behind Mr. Alldown,
leading to our unfortunate eyewitness
being murdered by the man who was plotting to replace the president. So was it the body double who moved Mr. Alldown's body too?
Yes, I think it probably was.
But none of the footprints could have been his, could they?
Actually, I think they could. In fact, we have a piece of evidence that proves how that particular trick was achieved. What shows how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any footprints.
Alright. Step 1. Don't close the game. Check. Step 2. I have shoes. Not actually Alldown's shoes. They appear to have been placed on his feet by the culprit after the... Oh! Yeah!
What if the president's double moved Alldown's body like this? After killing Mr. Alldown, he could have carried him to the other side of the entrance. Given that his job was to look just like the president, he would have been wearing the same shoes, meaning that if he stepped exactly in the footprints left by the real president...
Of course! His would have been the same shape and size. It would have looked like a single set of footprints. So that's how it all went down. I'm so glad we finally figured it out. Wait, but there's one thing I still don't get.
There is what?
Why do they need to pretend there was a kidnapping?
Mr. Alldown had seen the president at the orphanage. Left a message on Miss Ringer's phone describing what he thought he saw. It would have been impossible for the conspirators to erase that message, so they had to make it look as if the events described in the message were true.
So that's why there was no actual real ransom. By staging a kidnapping like the one he thought he saw?
Exactly. I think the two people in the photograph are likely to be the body double and Fifi the guard.
She's the one in the trench coat? How can you be so sure of that?
The two of them would have had to walk out beyond the orphanage gates to stage the photo. The body double could have put his feet in the real president's prints as he did before.
Oh, so the other set of footprints were hers.
The ones we originally thought belonged to the killer, yes. They were about a size 9, too small for Chairman Winner, in other words. Which means the kidnapper must have been played by Warden Lagarde. And that explains how a so-called kidnapping was actually a presidential assassination.
That's nuts. It does. Which means my father must have.
He must have.
noticed. There's no way he wouldn't have suspected a murder. Especially not with the kid's picture as proof. But the picture was never officially put into evidence, correct?
No, he appears to have kept hold of it after taking the witness statement of the child who drew it.
Yeah, because he knew. He knew President Wang was dead, and he knew what would happen if that news never got out.
The Jingfa would have been plunged into chaos, no doubt.
So he kept it a secret, and that secret died with him. Even though it meant taking the blame for the kidnapping and our family name being ruined.
So your father knew the truth about what happened 12 years ago, but he chose to hide it.
Well, it's finally coming to light at last. 12-year-old incident in which President Wang was kidnapped and the sole witness was murdered. Wait. Is it indeed intriguing? Huh?
What?
Who's there? That sound, is that about— Oh! How did you get here?
The Bodhidharma Canis.
The heck are you doing here? With the law, you think you can just show up in front of us like it ain't a problem? Forgive me, but I couldn't help overhearing the fascinating conversation you were having.
The opportunity to gloat over your past crimes was just too good to miss, I expect.
You killed President Wang. I did, but it's not something I'm inclined to gloat over. I was more interested in something else you mentioned. Or someone else, should I say.
There's someone you're looking for, I suppose.
Exactly. That's why I took a little sojourn from the penitentiary to find a certain young pup. A young pup in a rather eye-catching red raincoat.
What?
Wait! You know who they are? Manner of speaking. What did you call them again? A secret mastermind? Your friend in the red raincoat, of course. Red raincoat. The prosecutor looks a little surprised, doesn't he, Helmet? Yes, he does. The young pup I mentioned, he saved my life, you know, 12 long years ago. What? My unexpected savior? As you've surmised, it was I who killed President Wang, but that meant that I too became an inconvenience in need of removal. The imposter president, Winner Lagarde. Oh, I thought it was, they were Winner Lagarde. I'm like, what? The imposter president, Winner Lagarde, all three were keen to guarantee my silence. And if I hadn't met my friend, the young pup again, they might even have succeeded. I wonder what he's doing now. What?
So it was the president's body double who hired you.
I remember his words almost as if it were yesterday. You know how many times I've nearly been killed? Not once, not twice, a bunch of times. Why do I have to take all the risks? Why am I the one they always put in danger? When I'm out there being him, people treat me like I was him. They worship me. So what's the difference? Who's to say I couldn't be just as good as him? Literally everything suggests that. There was a difference, of course. Even if he did look and sound exactly like him. Just because it walks and talks like a president, that doesn't make it a president, does it, boy? No. He got his wish and became the boss, but couldn't quite fill his predecessor's shoes. Rick's not around, that means I'm number one. I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes. You, of course I do, I'm the leader now, me. Seems the king and his knight were much the same. The president's double knew that his employer had a weakness, a young woman named Amelie. But in order to find her, he needed to enlist the help of locals.
Locals such as Chairman Winner.
Once Miss Fenn had been located, they simply needed to find the right time to lay their trap. The meeting she arranged so the president could meet his son. That would have been the perfect opportunity. Indeed, and with the head of the orphanage brought into the fold, their little conspiracy was complete. Warden Lagarde. Now, quid pro quo, where might I find the pup?
What makes you think the boy who helped you and our mysterious string puller are one and the same?
He set a little fire that night up there in the yard of the orphanage. Oh, yeah, we saw that. It was some kind of prank, right? Prank? It was nothing of the sort, my dear. No, as I understand it, he had taken refuge in the igloo by the entrance. From there, he happened to see Winter and Lagarde carrying away a dead body. He also overheard them hatching a certain sordid little plot. A plot to remove me, the only other person who knew what had really happened, from the picture. Thankfully, he was kind enough to come and inform me. I was waiting inside the building, you see. He also happened to mention later on that he was wearing his favorite red raincoat. In any case, he escorted me from the premises. And being a very considerate boy, thought to erase both our footprints from the scene of the crime. It seems he had a little kerosene set aside in the igloo for just such an occasion. So he spread it liberally about the place and set himself a little fire. Okay. No way! So that's what the fire was for? It must have been ever so beautiful. Winter and Lagarde were positively enchanted. And while they were distracted by the show, he took the opportunity to usher me out of a side entrance.
You never answered my question. You really think he's the one behind all this?
I do indeed, don't I, Helmet? Yes, I do.
Hold it!
You were pretty forthcoming with that particular admission.
If I'm honest, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm tired of all the killing. But back then, I felt that death was my path. I embraced it and strove to learn what it had to teach. I've made my peace with that, and I'm happy to admit it. Aren't I, boy? Yes, I am. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but I definitely don't like the sound of it.
Basically, he thought nothing of murdering the president.
And not only is he an assassin, he's now a prison escapee. Not someone to be trifled with. But we can't afford for him to not talk. I'll need to tread as carefully as I can.
Very well, you killed the president. You're happy to admit it.
Oh, very much so. I wouldn't want you to you thinking that I drew my blade and missed. I too became an inconvenient. Yep, that makes sense.
You a target, but you're an assassin.
Sometimes the hunter must become the hunted. Sometimes living must become the dead.
No, please, Kay, don't feel the need to add a proverb of your own.
Impermanence is inherent to the way of the assassin. Life takers, lives are taken, so it goes. Wait, does that mean the people you're sent to kill sometimes try to kill you back, or...? It happens, occasionally. But it's not what happened this time.
Hold it!
Makes sense.
But Mr. Canis, you're a professional killer, and a famously skilled one at that. Surely escaping even 3 attackers would have been little more than a minor inconvenience.
You overestimate me, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem to forget that without Helmet here, I couldn't even walk down the street. Against 3 assailants, I wouldn't have lasted more than a few moments.
I see, so even the most proficient assassins are ill-equipped to face a full frontal assault.
We're not hugely fond of such situations, shall we say. I certainly wouldn't have liked my chances.
Hold it!
Again, so the two of you had met before.
Yes, on a cold and lonely Christmas Eve 18 years back. Oh! That long ago. But on that occasion, it was I who saved his life. Oh! It was snowing. More than it had in years, and cold enough that death by freezing was a real possibility. I had taken Helmet out for a little walk. He noticed something and bounded off through the snow. When I caught up with him, he was sniffing at a car. The doors had frozen shut. It took all the strength I had, but eventually I managed to open one. And Outside, I found 2 young boys shivering and semi-conscious.
The 2?
Yes, and had I found them even an hour later, the poor wretches would have never have made it. I took them both to a nearby orphanage. Is it me, or is there something significant about what he told us? That's all our old evidence. Forged letter. Getting revenge for what happened 12 years ago. Okay, so he said it was 18. That's not gonna help. Oh, related to that incident from 18 years ago. Oh, this is where it ties together. Manfred von Karma, Gregory Edgeworth, Artie Frost, Samson, Tangarora, body of Artie Frost discovered, managed belonging to Samson. Alicia Scone, Judy Bound, Carmelo Gusto, and Artie Frost. Oh! Oh! Hold on. There's a lot to work with here. Okay. So Artie Frost was killed. Have we seen pictures of either of them? Okay. That's definitely the 2 boys in the car. For sure. But I'm like, is the mastermind Artie Frost's son? Oh, I think that's it. And he's trying to take down. He's trying to take down Winner. We already did that. There's got to be more to it. But anyway, okay, back. There is something significant. What is about Kane's statement that is especially noteworthy? The date, the number of people, the date.
This was on Christmas Eve 18 years ago. You're certain of that?
I am. Holy smokes! Here's something that shows why that date is so significant.
Which piece of evidence relates to the date on which Mr. Kane has found the children?
November 24th, 18 years ago!
Take that!
That was the same day on which a certain incident occurred. The murder of a well-known sculptor.
No way!
An incident in the aftermath of which 2 children went missing. The son of the victim, Artie Frost, and the son of the murderer, Carmelo Gusto.
I mean, it would make the most sense for it to be Artie Frost's son. Yeah, now as you mentioned it, little guys did go AWOL, huh? Intriguing. The son of a murderer and the son of his victim. I suppose that would make sense. Does it? Does it really, though? I don't know that it does.
It would.
One of the boys was bound hand and foot, you see. Oh. That must have been part of Mr. Frost's plan to stop Mr. Gusto's son from getting to the competition. Ah, that's right.
Indeed, because without his son to taste his creations, Mr. Gusto would have had no chance of winning.
So I guess it could have been Gusto's son. Oh! We don't... I'm waiting for one of them to be Simeon Saint. How old was the son? I didn't have ages on any of those people. Let's say how old their sons were. because that would explain a lot. Dang, not enough to work with. Oh, I just noticed. Knight and Simeon are the same age. And weren't their sons the same age? Oh. Oh my god. Okay, so are those the... That would be nuts. That would be nuts if those are the sons. Oh. Alright. I'm gonna stop it there. Because I feel like that's kind of a big revelation. I hope I'm right. I really hope I'm right on that. That would be amazing. So we'll stop it there. I gotta imagine we're getting close to the end of this, but we shall see. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.